Hi there. I want to run through the features of the light we designed. Came up with this as one of the first things I came up with, and the reason I did so is because I work at Teat myself, and I could never find a light that I felt was designed for us, and without spending crazy money. But even though the ones I felt that were on the very higher spectrum price wise still didn't really do what I wanted. So after a bit of time, we figured we'd just go ahead and try our own. So I'm going to run through the features, how it works, and but I'm not going to compare it with other lights on available because I don't want to run anyone down. So I'm actually going to compare it to our cheaper version. We have two, but anyone that sees this will probably see that this is very similar to others on the market and popular ones on the market. So one of the things is that we'll start with the light itself. A lot of these lights are made with this type of light source where you have to press it once, twice it gets brighter, third time, and then to turn it off you have to hold it for 3 seconds. This was something that really kind of bugged me, this 3-second holding. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you know what? We're using these things all the time, all day. And something small like that, if you use it once in a while, that's fine. But when you're using it that regularly, it should just turn off. Especially a client turns around and calls you and tries asking you, next thing you're blind here and you're having to break the conversation to just hold that for 3 seconds. It doesn't seem like a long time, but you know yourself, it just gets annoying for me. I just didn't like it. The other thing was that this housing gets very hot. And the reason these housings get very hot is because this type of light is actually not designed to be stationary. These lights are designed to be on the front of bikes. And bikes move. And then the wind goes by, and that is supposed to keep the light source cool. So when we have them stationary, that's why it's such a big problem with the heat, because there's nothing taking away the heat off the light. So the other features this has is the same on our other lights, so other than explaining it twice, this has the same as on this one, and also to hold the battery is also. So I'll just go through the dearer one and we'll cover both in one. So we'll start at the back. So we're using a more expensive battery, and what it does, it actually holds more power than some of the others available. It's actually, but also you have an indicator light. You always know how much power you got. So you're never guessing if you charge it, if you need to charge it, where you are. You always know how much power you got. I think this holds 3600 mAh or something of light capacity. So holds a lot of power, and you always know how much power you got. So coming off the light, you come, the light. So one of the issues I had with the light was that they're normally fixed one of two places. They're either on the headband or they're on a long cable to your belt. And I've issues with them. When you've got the weight of the battery on the headband, it causes the light to want to flip up because the weight is back here. So when you're sweating or you're working in hotter conditions, your light tends to want to do this all the time. And that affects where your beam is, obviously. So I didn't like this. And the other issues with going onto the belt was that every time I wanted to take the light off between horses or whatever, we had to undo it from your belt, which doesn't seem a big deal, but if you're doing it how many times a day, it can get a bit annoying. The other problem with it is that when it's on your belt, you got your clothes pressing down, you start losing power from the batteries, because you start kinking the wire here over time. So then you start losing power and your lights start flickering. So what we did, we actually came up with a design which we actually patented, and what it does, it actually fixes to the top of the frame of the light and runs down, and the light connects onto there. This causes the weighted light to be dispersed through the curvature of the practitioner's head, so that the weighted light isn't sat here, it's actually sat through the frame and through the top. And how that reflects is that when you take the light and you sit it on a pendulum, the light is completely balanced under its own weight. The light does not want to sit back or forward. So this light wants to sit level, which allows you to have your headband looser, because you don't have to have it tight, because the light wants to sit level. As well, as you can see, when you put your light on and now you've angled this or you've curved this to the curvature of your head, you can put your light on and off like a baseball hat, and it sits the same every time. And that affects another part we're going to get to. So then, coming off the light, we go to the frame of the actual light piece, and I'll show you on this one because it's easier. A lot of these lights have similar turn dials, but a lot of them, they just turn, and so they start coming loose, so you have to constantly tighten them. This one, we have actually locks, so you have to push it in, and then when you release, it locks back out. So once you set your headband to the size of your head, it doesn't loosen because it is locked into place. So we come around here, this is a dimmer switch, so you can turn up or down the intensity of the light. I normally run it just below half because it throws out a lot of light, and if I want to look at something a bit closer, I'll turn it up and then I can turn it right back down again. So all the wiring of the light, or 95% of it, is all encased. It's behind this casing that it's dipped in, which results in less chance of the wires getting pulled and tugged, which again results in longevity, so your light possibly lasts longer. The only where you've got wire off the main headpiece is going from here to the housing. That is the only part of the wire that is exposed. All the rest is internal. So over on this side, we got the dimmer switch, or the toggle switch. It's a strong stainless steel toggle switch, it won't break, and it simply turns on and off. No 3 seconds, have crack, it's just simple, it just turns on and off, and that's it. So then coming around to the front, what we did was we made the housing, or this part here that holds the housing, so it comes out far enough so if you wear glasses, you've loads of room for glasses. Also, once you get your headlight, you fit it to your head and you get the beam exactly where you want it. These are real high quality stainless steel screws. So once you get that beam where you want it, get a vice grips on them and tighten them up real tight, and then just put a bit of Loctite on them. They won't move. Every time you put that light on your head, your beam is exactly at where you want it to be. Because of the way it's shaped, and it goes on like a baseball cap, as I said, it always sits in the same position. Your beam is always where you want it. So coming around to the housing, there's a heat sink in the housing. So the LED is constantly having the heat drawn away from it. The LED is what heats these things up and causes all the problem with the heat. So this has a big heat sink in it, so this never actually gets hot. There's never a point where you can't touch this. The most it'll get is slightly warm, but this never gets hot. So that's that problem solved. The lens is not a straightforward lens. So light wants to travel in a straight line. So you've got your LED back here, and your light is trying to travel, and it can only travel through here. This is the opening to the LED. So for this, it would want to go this kind of route, like this. So 100 yards down is fine, the light is dispersed far enough, but we're working on a focal point that is sat right in front of us. So we need that light to be dispersed a lot quicker, so that the front of the horse's mouth is illuminated the same as the back. So to give you an idea, this types of light will be dispersing its ray like this. Here's your LED, which is your light source, and then it comes through the lens at the front. So this is the path it will be taking, a straight line like this. Okay, so the back of your mouth will be illuminated well, but the front maybe not as much. We want to disperse that light a lot more. So with this lens, when the light hits it, instead of it going like this, it hits it and it kicks it up, and the same hits it and it kicks it down. So instead of getting this, you get this, kicks it and shoots the light out. So now the front of the mouth is being illuminated as much as the back. So what we're working on and the areas we're working, this light is made to cover that. Also, the light has no tinting. It's a bright white light. Some of these LEDs can have a tint in them, which can cause small tissue discoloration, but with this, it's a bright neutral white light. So you're getting true coloration of tissue. Going from there is just a charger, which is no big deal, except the fact that we have it that you can take the outlet off it. So if you're an American, you stay in America, it doesn't really matter, but if you travel a bit, or maybe you're buying the light for a different country, you can simply, if we have it available, we've got different heads, you just change the head over. This American one, and this is, I don't know where that is, I'd have to look it up, but so we got different heads for a couple of different countries, and you just put on the head that suits you. So you don't need the adapter to go into the wall and then this to go to the adapter. You simply change the head and it plugs in, and the charger is designed to be able to cope with the different power output from that country and change it to work with the battery we have. So pretty much this light is designed specifically for people that are in the dentistry field or working on projects that are quite close to them. It's a simple on and off. Every time you put it on, it sits the same. Disperses the light quicker. Has a bright white light, no tinting, dimmer switch. You always know how much power you have. You don't have the issues with the light wanting to shift around because of the patented design for dispersing the weight of the battery. And again, as we said, it's completely balanced. It wants to be balanced. We've just got a new box because it didn't come with a box. We've just got this as to see if it works. It's a real strong, heavy duty case. This will be an extra, and just fits real snug. It's got a small case too, it's not over big, so it works really well. So thanks for watching. I just wanted to go through, and there is a lot of lights out there, but I feel this one is different. We sold quite a lot of them. Everyone that has one has had only positive things to say about them. We've never had an issue with them, and it is designed specifically pretty much for what the job that we are doing. So thanks for watching. Any questions, please message us. We are kind of low on inventory of them right now, but we are starting a new batch. So as I said, any questions, please let us know. Thank you.